Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Mountain Harmony Gardening. I'm Kristen, and today we are going to be changing the pumpkin trellis over from a spring garden into the summer garden, and I'm going to show you how we make those changes. Now that it's the middle of summer, our peas are starting to die back, and we have already harvested all the peas off of them, and you can see that when your peas are done, they will start to turn yellow. And this is the perfect time right now to go ahead and take them off and let the pumpkin trellis go ahead and do what we meant it to do. Because as you can see, the pumpkin and the squash plants have already reached the bottom. So they definitely need to take this over, because I also have one branch up here that's going across this way when I want all of these to start coming down. So I put on my Farmer's Defense. I just bought these, tested them out. I'll give you guys a review probably in fall. So far, what I found is they're a little hot, but they do keep you from getting sunburned, and working with pumpkins or squash or any of those types of plants that are a little bit more prickly, it does help. Haven't tested them on the raspberries yet, but I'll be doing that in the fall. So that's why I want to give you guys a complete review if these actually work for raspberries or not. So we're going to wait for that. But so far, I like them. They do stay up. They don't like slide down or anything because they've got elastic at the top. So that's great. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're just going to cut all of these off at the bottom. Wherever there's a pea growing, just pull it out. And if some of these are still kind of green, you can go ahead and use those as pea shoots and put them in salads because they're really yummy. These ones are a little bit too far gone, so I'm not going to do that with any of these. These are just going to go ahead and come out. All right, now I have clipped all the bombs off, and you should be able to pretty much just rip all of this off. And be careful if you do have any of your melons growing over here that you don't hurt them in this process. So it pretty much just came off in one big bunch. This looks a lot better, and this is going to be much more beneficial for growing the pumpkins and the spaghetti squash. You can see, oh, grasshopper. Oh, I hate this. Okay. Yeah, there are a lot of grasshoppers this year, and I mean a lot. And yes, we've just been killing them. Not going to do that on camera for you, though. It's kind of gross. So this is a spaghetti squash. And the way that I can tell is because this little part here is elongated. For the pumpkins, they're round. So the same one over here. And if you go back up, you can see that we have two new ones. And look at that one. It's beautiful. On this side, we do have some pumpkins. But it's okay if they end up doing this before they flower. It just means that this one wasn't going to be a viable pumpkin. I'm just trying to see if there's any others down here. Not on this one, but on the back side, we do have some more. But I want to show you how I've been training these. And I'm using tomato clips, which I know I've shown you before. And this one up here has really kind of gotten off of where I want it to grow. You can go ahead and break the little tendrils, but what you don't want to do is actually break the stem. So I'm letting this kind of fall naturally, and then I'm going to put in a couple of clips. Grab another one. And then you just clip these to the trellis, just like this. Pretty simple. And that way what you're doing is you're training the pumpkin vines or the spaghetti squash to grow down. And once they get to a certain point, you can see from here down that they go ahead and they start going down on their own. And what we're going to do is, now that they've hit the bottom, we're going to start training them along the shed. And that way they have plenty of room to grow. The next step that you want to do to your pumpkins and your squash this time of year is you want to trim off all of the bottom leaves. Because as they grow up and over, these leaves are going to start to die back. They could get disease. They start to kind of turn yellow. They don't look so good. So what you want to do is you just want to go back to the stem and completely take off all of these bottom leaves. That will also let a little bit more light in here for all of the nasturtiums that I have growing. And that way you can utilize this whole entire large growing area. The bok choy just did not do good this year under here, and I am figuring, cat in the middle of the video, hello Lola. I'm figuring that this is probably not the best area to try to grow them because the roly-polies really like them. And, oh, there goes another grasshopper. Oh, okay, got this part out. Oh, didn't get him anyways. Oh, there he goes. Also, for the grasshoppers, you go ahead and remove some of this. It'll be easier to deal with them too. So I'll be right back after I have this all trimmed up. This looks so much better, and it's going to give some more airflow and some more light. I cleaned up both sides of the pumpkins, so I cut all of this back here, anything that looked bad. Plus there are a few stems that are coming out that I know that wouldn't produce anything, so I went ahead and cut them off. Just be really careful that you do not cut the stem that actually has all of your fruit growing on it. So you want to make sure that when you cut off a leaf, it's just a leaf and not a whole entire stem. The next thing that we're going to be doing, and I'm going to get over here, is we're going to be taking out all of the bok choy here, because if you take a close look at this, all the leaves are pretty well eaten. They do not look good at all, and these are just not going to produce. I was hoping that as these got a little bit older that the leaves would be okay, but they're not. So I actually don't even need the clippers. I can just pull them out like this. The nasturtiums are doing good, but these poor little guys, they're not even worth saving. So I'm going to take all of them out. But one thing that now you have some light in here that you can do is you could plant some radishes, and I'm going to do that. Now that I have this completely cleaned up and I have all of the new vines coming down from the top trained down, what you're going to do is you're going to train them once they get to the bottom to go where you want them to go. So these ones are almost there, and I'm going to keep an eye on them, but I've done it already with one of the ones over here. This one had already started to grow this direction out and not over the trellis. So what I decided to do is we have enough space in this walkway here that we can go ahead and train them down the walkway. So all I did was I started to guide it, and then once it got into the path, it pretty much has already gone down. So if you want them to go in a certain direction, you just have to make sure to pretty much daily, because they grow a lot every day, to start training them this direction, and it's fine. So you can also do this too. Utilize whatever space that you have. I have also been hand pollinating all of our flowers. Like the large one up here I hand pollinated, and one of these I pollinated as well. But I have seen so many bees in here, like sleeping in the flowers. I come out first thing in the morning and they're just like sleeping in the flowers. I love it. So they are definitely doing their job. But I just like to ensure to make sure that they really got everything pollinated. And so far, everything that has gotten to the point where it produces a flower has been pollinated. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope that this helped you see how I clean up my trellis and how I've been training it. So please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Happy gardening, everyone.